Welcome back to. Let me get
Hearts
this
of
right.
the community, my brother. Hearts of the community. How y'all doing?
Right. Welcome back to Hearts to the Community with Jew and Jay and Jew, however you say it. Um, and we'll talk about that. Why I just went in a complete daze thinking of the name, but I have a title name for today, right? And I want to call it Throwback Jersey, right?
Ooh.
And the reason why, and I got so much to talk about. I know we got our time limit, but reason being what we were talking about earlier with working things out with the title of our podcast. But also for me, I'm at this point in my life where things that happened back in my life are coming back up, but in a positive manner. And one of the main things I told you I wasn't going to tell you to the podcast is somehow I got an idea to go and grab my old laptop from like 15 years ago and like make beats with it. So I pulled it up and we'll probably run this like a picture or something right here. Like the laptop here is trash. Like the monitor is, as you can tell, is broken, but I got the monitor hooked up to another monitor so I can see it. But like I know I'm about to be up all night. Like I'm about to be making beats all night because like I'm trying to figure it out again, but I know where my stuff at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh Similar to that throwback jersey, but then ultimately talking about the title of the podcast and what we're going through with that, I think it's full circle. It kind of brings some of the old of how I used to be. I'm throwing away with that and I'm keeping a little bit of it. And the same thing with you. I think I don't want to speak for you, but some of our old uh, tools that we use, we're using them today. And then me personally, I'm gaining new tools by working with you, new information, new ways that we say old things, things of that nature.
Yeah, it's even crazy that well, first, I'm glad you found that because I know you're gonna be happy playing with that,
Oh
especially,
man.
you know what I'm saying, if you get on your Homer Simpson. You know what I mean? You get your Homer Simpson on and
Inside,
just
inside joke.
relax.
I
Yeah,
didn't think
man.
about that until you just said it.
That's what you got baby brother for, man. That's what you got me
Word.
for.
Shout
So,
out to bro Chris too, because I always send it to both of y'all. So
oh
definitely
yeah,
happening tonight.
gotta send bro the video. I definitely want to hear some. Hey, you can even send me some beats. You can make an old school beat for me. Since I
Why I
got
gotta
this
be
mic
old
now,
school?
cause that's you.
No.
you you
'Cause
gonna make some new school beats with your old school thing?
see, this is where you old. We don't say new school beats. Don't nobody say new
What
school.
you
That's
call them?
that's also making new stuff. Like some, or I just say some joints. I don't even put the word new on it.
I feel like that's an in the industry type of knowledge though. I feel like because I'm
Nah,
out, it's like nigga, it's new beats. Like it.
nah.
That's
You
like
try to
saying
spare yourself, but
nah.
nah,
That's like saying Joe, you know them new football plays, and I'm like,
I
it
wouldn't
ain't.
say that.
Man, fuck you. How about that? Oh damn. Oh
Oh
yeah.
man.
So that should be fun. And it was something you said that I thought was dope. Oh yeah. New like old tools and using them again today. It's crazy because growing up, I used to think it was so bad that I like knew how to talk to so many different people and how to connect with so many different people. People always say, Jew, you all really friendly, Jew, you this, you that, you um everybody ain't your friend. It's like, no, nigga, everybody ain't your friend. And that was that was something I had to learn because it was like I used to be thinking like, damn, maybe they not. But I'm like, of course I'm gonna get betrayed by some people, but betrayal happens to the people that's closest to you. That's why it's betrayal because you
Mm.
trusted them. You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying? You feel
yeah.
me? So it's like,
Go
no,
ahead,
no,
my bad.
no, no, no. What you was gonna say?
Well, one, would we like to agree that you got different dad?
Got what from dad?
This whole everybody's my friend, and I don't mean that
Oh, yeah.
I don't mean that literally. Like everybody's not your friend, but you treat everyone like that initially.
Dad really was like honestly what people like we used to talk about this. What's cool? Like how do you determine what's cool? It depends on your perception. Like to me, goofy is cool. I don't care if somebody is laughing at me or with me because I'm laughing regardless. It doesn't matter what you're doing. So it's like with dad, he would He'd be cool with the dude at the cash register. He'd be cool with the lady in the drive through. He'd be cool with the car dealership people. He'd be cool with the motherfucker attorney general out of nowhere. And it's like he um he had a way. It's so funny because it feels like an oxymoron talking with this. He had a way of communicating with people, but he didn't know how to communicate with people. Like he knew how to surface level conversations and like invite you in. And I like that about him because it's like, dude, he told me one thing. He was like, this is something I'll always remember. I don't know where we was at, but I remember the words he said. He said, it don't cost you nothing to be nice. And I thought that was real dope because I'm like, dude, yeah, like it's so many mean people in the world. Like it don't cost you nothing to be nice. Like, oh, somebody cut me off in the middle of the road. Well, shit, probably they gotta get somewhere fast. Who knows? I don't care if they don't got to get nowhere fast, and that's just how they drive. And I'm not gonna be upset with myself. So going back full circle moment, like you talked about earlier, going back to what we were saying about the old tools, being able to talk and connect with so many different people, being able to be a friend, being able to people being able to trust and confide in me. Even though I'm not gonna lie, I did fuck that up sometimes. But I was high school, I was young, I wanted to mend things between the people who didn't want to mend it. They wanted to be angry. And that was something that I didn't understand. I'm like, well, if you know this information, but you don't know this information, it makes sense for me to tell you this. And sometimes, I had to realize I had to get my emotions out of it because sometimes things was personal. But now that I'm a therapist, it's like, dude, I'm able to connect with so many different people on the first go that they're ready to start talking about what brought them into therapy in the consultation. I'm able to talk with so many people throughout the day and it doesn't feel draining to me because I understand one is Yahweh helping everybody that I get a chance to talk to because if me and you talk about this all the time, if I get the wisdom from him and I'm able to give it to other people, that's me being able to be a vessel, and that's all praises to him. So I don't take that lightly. So I don't look at it as me doing things. So using them tools of being able to talk to so many different people, I'm able to have a session, talk to my brother about something, then talk to my brother Christian, then maybe talk to our brother Chris about something, then hit my girl because she might be going through a stressful day, and then talk to my other friends about something that might be going on. It's like I'm able to give so much love to so many people that I've always wanted to do that people used to vilify me for. Like, oh, you too friendly, you this, you that. And it's like, damn, you mad, you not doing it. And so when you said that, it was just crazy because I've never thought about that until now. So that
So
was my vintage session.
no, you good. If you were thinking about this as a listener and you're my age, Outcast, old school plays the new school fools, right? He don't know
Mhm.
nothing about that. But so dig this. It's something you said about that that I thought was pretty dope. You was like, it's crazy how much he does communicate it and he does it, right? It's an oxymoron, right? But the funny thing about that is we all do that out of insecurity, like
Right.
all types of things. Like, it's like, well, I thought you had this confidence. It's like, nah, it's really a mask. I'm really scared as hell. But I don't want like I was telling somebody that yesterday. Like, if you know me, you know when I'm shook about something. If you don't know me, that's my mask. It's you. So if you ask me though, I'll tell you, I'm scared as hell.
Mhm.
Right. But if you don't ask me, you won't know because I'll have this straight look on my face. And to your point about like being nice, I'm the opposite. A lot of people call me an asshole and they be like, man, you actually cool. Like I
Yeah.
thought you, but what it is one, I believe I got it from my mom. My mom used to always have this mean looking face, and I'd be like, "What's wrong with you?" And she'd be like, "What's wrong with you? I'm fine." I'd be like, "Man," but I think I took that in, but then also I understood that having a mean face allowed me to have a guard for people to not come and speak to me if I didn't want them to, because they couldn't get past that like I could. Like people, like I always thought about this. I think about this now, but in my old days, long, long, long time ago when I was single, when I used to talk to women, some of the most difficult women, you just caught it.
Connection just connected.
Yeah, yeah. So some of the women that I will pull that other guys around me couldn't get, it was because I had a dark place like that woman had a dark place. So I could speak to her dark place in a way where the happy go lucky guy wasn't getting to that because she didn't want to be happy. She wanted to be in that dark place.
I
I was I was in that dark place, so I could say something that could actually make her laugh because it would match her darkness, right? Like so, and the
that's
whole time,
crazy.
yeah, I used to think it was me, but I'm like, nah, y'all just was both in this. I'm not gonna say toxic because we weren't toxic, but it was. I'll continue to say dark. I want to use a different word, but in this space to where we were guarded, basically.
Let me
And go ahead.
let me because this is now gonna be a question. This shit gonna be kind of funny, but it's not supposed to be. Um, so when I would talk to women that it's like you would say, like the darker kind, it seemed like they like damn, you always got something going on. I'd be like, bruh, am I tripping or is this motherfucker going through something every day? How would you respond to those type of people in the moments? Because I felt like with you being more like s- not stoic, because you would care, like you soft as a bitch. Like like my brother, don't let the like he said, if you can get past that exterior, my brother, he love you, man. He'll do everything for you. And that's something
Yeah.
oh man, I hold him to my heart, y'all. Like this dude, he'll do anything for you if he can. But how would you be responding to those type of situations? Because it's like, yeah, because y'all didn't have cell phones, so y'all couldn't text.
Stop it. Stop it. Now we did have sidekick threes. We had that on the screen, which I really wish that they bring back. Speaking of throwback, because they
Uh-huh.
already bringing back the razor. You know what I mean? So again, then shouts out to Rico Love. He wrote the song "Throwback" on Confessions album. But so you're saying that the girl or the lady always has something going on? How did I respond?
Yeah, it was like never a good day.
I can't front. Those are the type of people I couldn't be around.
Got you.
Like because
So
I
I
I
was trying to
wasn't.
deal with him, and you was
Yeah, I do believe in a sense that I was trying to be certain people's saviors, not saving them, but
oh,
giving them information.
that's an
Right? I
episode.
don't. Yeah, I'm not trying to save you. I am trying to be a savior in the sense of giving you information, but it was never like if it was a dude that you was trying to stay with, I'm gonna convince you to stay with the dude. I'm not trying to like hate on the dude or nothing like that. But if it was overwhelming for me, like I would just kind of remove myself easily. I wouldn't do it like subtly because
Okay.
it would that's too obvious. It would I'll tell you what, one thing I did and I was super bogus for this. Now I'm talking to my brother because I'm talking like Milwaukee. I was super bogus for this. Um I just flipped
Super buggy.
I flipped the script on her and literally just started like, man, you always got an attitude. And it's like it was clear that this ain't me. Like, you know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
was and then like it was almost like I gave her. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
what are you talking about? And I didn't know what I was talking about, but I knew that
As long as it sticks.
yeah, it's I'll play the villain so this whole thing can be over. So it's like at this point, I don't even care if you're mad at me to the point to where you don't want to talk to me again, because that's how I feel. Rather than just saying that I just gave her a version to her. And then that's what happens sometimes when you teach stuff. But let me say this because I'll forget. You was talking about being cool and different levels of cool. I didn't understand that I wasn't cool in every room until I worked for, I won't say the name, but a technology place where we did websites and stuff and coding and all this geeky stuff. And I was very intrigued because I'm a geek. So I walked in there, had my nice little fit on from time to time, but I always have some shoes on. So, some of the people in there be like, oh, like, you don't really wear shoes twice. Like, and I did that on purpose. I ain't gonna act like
It
I
was
wasn't
big,
doing it on
right?
purpose.
Oh my
But
god.
no, look, that got old and nobody cared about it anymore. It's like, yo, what's up with these codes? They care more so about what I could do for the technology and for these websites and domains
Ooh.
rather than anything I had on, how I talked, how I looked. And I was always used to that because I would hear people like, how you hear people in passing. like, yo,
Yeah.
he's so cool. Or, man, somebody told me like you're so cool. Like, and uh somebody told me they was like, yo, you a real, and I was like, yo, what does that even mean? And it was like, you just don't have the traits that most men have. Like, you stand for what you stand for. You're not trying to be tough. And all of the stuff that they said was like, yeah, I intend on being that exactly. Like, I stand on what I stand on. I'm a man of principle. Shouts out to Trevon, because Trevon is very much like our cousin Trevon. Where like, and he be out the way. I'll be out the way. I ain't in no mess. I don't want to be in no mess. I ain't bringing no gossip to you.
I'm trying
And
to
that's how
chill.
yeah, and I'm always like that. But I know it came from this is throwback. It came from trauma, like right. Like sometimes if I got too excited when I was a kid, I would get that shut down by adults. So you're doing a little too much. You're a little too
Yeah.
happy right now, so you need to calm it down. So I always stay chill, and I found my comfort in that. So I thought as an adult, everybody would embrace me. Like, he cool, he cool. Nobody cared nothing about that where I was at that spot.
I want to pause you too because that speaks as a testament to who you were as a kid growing up. They had to tell this nigga one time. And I keep forgetting too. If y'all, hey, if anybody is my client watching this, this is the raw, authentic me. Y'all get a little calm down version, just you know what I'm saying. But this is me, mom, dad. Y'all know y'all son. Um, back to you. Um, so
Shouts out to
it's
moms and pops.
love y'all, both
Love
both
you.
sides,
Both
So
sides.
yeah,
VA.
and
Word.
shout out, congratulations, TJ, making it first year college freshman, my boy.
Shouts out
Shout out to
TJ.
my nephew, you know what I'm saying? My boy done did his.
All right, now, okay. Shouts
I
out to E,
know.
but you pushing it now. You stepping out, or you going back
Shout
and
out,
forth.
God,
Stay out
you
to
know.
you throw back in too much
uh,
now.
oh yeah, man. But it testament to who he is. So they only had to tell him one time, and he like, oh, okay. So they probably told him to calm down maybe two, three times, and he like was like, you know what, that's it, I'm done. And whereas me, like it, like you couldn't tell me enough because it's like, what do you mean don't be happy? Who says that? So I was looking at the people who was telling me that crazy. I'm like, bro,
Wow.
it's crazy, right? Because it's, and I know what you're thinking about, like the generalization part of it, huh?
No, I'm just thinking about how different we were, where my happiness was shut down, and you was like, nah, I'm gonna be happy. Like that's a choice you made as a kid, right? Now,
Yeah.
for me, that choice was music. Couldn't nobody stop me. But dig how crazy that is. I'll choose that over that began to be my happiness. So I will pull myself to that rather than
Yeah.
just sitting in happiness without it. You know what I mean? Like that's super crazy. That's
Dang.
super crazy.
Do you feel like that? And maybe that's where the creativity side comes from, because to be creative is a form of happiness, is a form of joy, whether it looks different for some people. Because you got some people who be like, well, I create through trauma. Well, that's a different type of part of your brain you using to create. The part that we talking about comes from that. So you talking about using your happiness and relocating it somewhere else. The happiness
Right,
didn't just go. You know what I'm saying?
right. It didn't, but it did. So the happiness shuts down when the music shuts down. So
Ah, but it never shut down for you. That was your
it
choice.
it was, but I still made the choice. So, and this is what I mean by that. Like I didn't too much have writer's block back in those days, but there were times that I couldn't get it out because I was doing
Mm,
so much. I write the song, I make the beat for the song. If Mar, Kenny, and them wasn't doing it, and in between certain times, I didn't per se know what I wanted to say, and in that mind now, I can't resort back to just like maybe basketball at most, or you begin to lean on people for that happiness. Like, yo, let
yeah,
me call such, and that's cool to have somebody. I remember talking to dad about this like in my late 20s, and I was like, he was like, yeah, I'm about to go to the movies. I'm like, you go to the movies by yourself? He was like, yeah. He was like, I go to eat by myself. I was like, that's pretty lame.
that's where I got
Go
that from too, though. Because I used to.
ahead.
No, that's just crazy you said that, James. Because I had both of your phases, but you know how dad is too, though. Y'all trying to go to corral? Y'all trying to go to? He'd call up the boys from the King Center real quick. You know what I'm saying? So, sorry, I was hearing something. Uh,
Hey, what did you hear? Let's confirm that.
so I thought you were listening to something. So, and I thought because I can hear it from the right side, and it's Marielle in the kitchen. Now this guy, this
That's
wise
out to sis. We don't have our logo yet.
guy.
I think
He's so honest, y'all. Like this, he said, "Bro, I gotta keep it a B."
no, because I think it's important for the sake of the conversation that we had earlier. And I think this is really going to help people. It ain't even about the logo. I think I'm over that. I got over it immediately when I remembered that I had you. Like, this is nothing for me to worry about. And that's why I text you that earlier. But so look, I want y'all to
Let's see,
understand
man.
this. When we started this podcast, we had an idea of what we were going to name it. And we kind of been going back and forth the last couple of days about how it's going to be said exactly. Please say it because I still be forgetting.
Hearts of, I don't know, some motherfuckers can hear me, so you can be like, you gotta enunciate. Hearts of the community.
All right, hearts of the community.
Because it's not just
All right,
us, it's a community of hearts. Never forget that.
about to look like Cyclops. Had to put that joint up.
I ain't
So
want to
hearts
say
of the
nothing.
community. You just don't let me see. You see how I really do.
I thought it was gonna
So
just
that ain't even Cyclops. That's homeboy of Star Trek. But hearts of the community, right? So we had this idea, somewhat of an idea of how we want the logo, but we were kind of going back and forth about what we want, which I don't think there's nothing bad about. But what I was telling my brother is that I wanted it to be when we have it, it's ready. We're not going back to it. We're not editing it. If we want to do merch or whatever, it's ready, it's done. And he was cool with it. Now, normally that wouldn't be me. I want to have everything taken care of before we even start shooting the video because I look at that as a professionalism thing. But I want you to speak about what you may call this term and your attitude towards things. Because I used to look at that when we first started, getting our relationship together. Like, this dude don't care about nothing. Like, it's like, we'll take care of that down the road. I'm like, oh, do you understand this is important? And then just how he looking right now would be like, yeah, I hear you. And I would be coming up with all of these what ifs based off of my trauma, throwback, based off of all of my trauma, and he would just have this cool vibe about himself. Imagine that. He's the cool guy in this situation, right? It'll get taken care of. How, Julius? Right? It'll all work itself out. Right? So Carlton Banks by Monday.
it'll be done.
Back by Monday. So what is that called in therapist terms? And then give me the origin of how you developed that. I know God has a lot to do with that, but you have a huge sense of peace and patience about a lot of things that I'll lose my mind over. But I understand now that we work with each other that I can lean on you for that, and I don't have to freak out about so much. Where we still don't have a logo, and I'm cool with it. It's like it'll come.
Yeah. So first, I appreciate that, bro, because that does say a lot. Because I haven't always been that way. Like I used to be very impulsive, and it used to be a point where I didn't care because, like, it was. How do I want to say? It was football or nothing. Like it didn't matter about anything extra because I was going to the league, plain and simple. Like that shit was a done thought till injuries started happening. But we gonna probably get into that a whole different story, probably talking about obstacles in our life we overcome and shit. But going to the real thing, like you hit it on the head, it's Yahweh, God. Like I've been in this walk in this fall, we'll probably be going on 8 years, 7 years, eight, maybe eight, 4 years. I think it'll be because it'll be 2024. Yep, 8 years. And it's just crazy to think about it like that because I remember first starting off, like I was getting so much shit for stop eating pork. I was getting so much shit for starting to keep the Sabbath. And it's like, damn, I'm doing the shit that's in the Bible. Y'all on my ass. And it's like it's crazy because it was like I was getting people telling me you reading the wrong Bible. I get they Bible. I'm like, it's here too. I'm like, it's like we talking about the same thing. And then they like, I started to grow and understand like it's not my responsibility to go out my way to prove them wrong. It's my responsibility to live my truth and walk in it. And that took a lot of like, man, it took so much like trials. It wasn't all sweet. Like I would be trying to like I'm human. So I was trying to find loopholes on the Sabbath. Like, hey, can you buy this for me? I was trying to get Hey, I remember, man, shout out to my boy Whip, man, because he he was holding me accountable in his own way. He'd be like, I'd be like, it was this one Sabbath we was in spring break and one of our friends had bought like a Subway sandwich for us and it was after dark. He was like, "Nigga, you cheat." And then I was like, nah, bro, I ain't buy it. Dude bought it. And he was like, I don't know what happened, but it was a conversation later on where it talked about not being lukewarm, where it's like you can't half step. And he like, I'm not in it, so I'm not half stepping it. I'm like, that's valid. I'm like, it can be like that. We had our own walk. And so I started to grow in my lessons because I don't look at them as L's. I look at them as lessons because things was blessings or lessons. And once I started to understand that, like I understood more like the faith that Yahweh sent by giving his son to us is through grace. So grace allows us to get back closer through the Father. And we got to start with faith. Faith is believing in something that's out of your control, but also believing in something that's in a higher power than you. But the Bible teaches us, and Jesus teaches us, faith without works is dead. So he says, show me your works by your faith, and I'll show you my faith by my works. Meaning, like, I might be butchering that, but meaning like I have so much faith in Yahweh that I'm going to choose not to eat pork because I believe that He's telling me it's the right thing to do. So now bringing that full circle back to what you said about like the almost perception of I don't care. I think people see that from the outside looking in because a part of me doesn't care because it's not needed in the moment. It's not the next step. I have to learn through football. I have to worry about just the next thing sometimes. And with business, most businesses don't get up and running because people are worried about too much. And it's like, dude, all I got to do is start. We never know what, like, this is all the thoughts and possibilities that Yahweh gives me. We never know. We might get an idea from a comment that somebody puts out. We might get an
Mm.
idea from something that one of our friends says. And that's why when you was like, you want to keep it as is and not grow it. I was like, oh, that makes sense. As long as we don't got to have one moving forward. But then that's where the patience has to come in because some people have pride, where it's like, no, let's get something up now. We can change it later. Or no, let's get something now and stick it in. And now it's us butting heads over something that has nothing to do with the message. It started with me trusting Yahweh first, trusting God first. Trusting God led to me trusting myself more because I knew if I was choosing God first in everything, I can't go wrong. So knowing that I can't go wrong in that mindset allows me to focus on what I can do in the now. So we can only control what we can. So I'm not going to try to force something, but if you're open to change, if you're open to that patience, then you never know how it might come. Like we could be taking a shot and a logo idea come. And that's kind of where that mind frame comes because Marielle even said it too. Like it used to seem like I
What
didn't
was Marielle?
my future wife,
Okay.
future
Just
baby.
want to make sure so when people listening, they know who's who. Shout
Glad,
out to
thank you for
sis.
doing. See, and that's another thing. That's what I wanted to say. Y'all, we're not individual creatures. We're social creatures. So Yahweh creates environments for sometimes us to meet people who meet exactly what we need. I needed a you to help me with those things. So I didn't need to stress it because you enjoy it. So that's what the government took away from us, but with removing us out from our communities. Like those trades, those individual businesses, those favors that people would do. Like if I was good at heavy lifting, guess what? I will come over and help you move some shit. If you was good at electrical stuff, guess what? I need help setting this TV or these lights up. Now we helping each other out. So sorry, that's a lot.
No, you talking about the arts of the community. So
Hey, that gotta go to the front. That gotta go to the front.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's what I do when I'm in the studio. Oh, you got this?
Oh,
Nah, I
that
don't.
was
'Cause
no, that was a
I really couldn't take that because that would be like you ghostwriting my stuff. I'd be like, nah, we're not using that.
let me put it out there. Are you biting
Yeah,
now?
yeah, that was cool. Put that on your song. You can be featured on it. But no, that's good information. Reason being because, old me, uh I don't think I would have received that well even from you. You know what I mean? Being my brother, because and you taught me this. Like I've just been on my own so much away from dad's side. And, not to say that I didn't grow up with family, but I mean in my immediate house, it was just always I'll figure it out or I gotta do this. Like you don't even worry about it. I'll do it. And then what people don't realize when you do that sometimes, you're being very selfish and you're not doing it on purpose to be like, it's got to be my way, but you're literally saying that because that's what you're used to. But you may not have any under because I didn't understand it until you told me. Like, I think you said, he was like, yo, bro, you think you grew up too fast? And
Yeah.
shouts out to my neighbor in the hood, Ren. He just got out of the hospital. He's doing good. I want to shout you out. He would be like, yo, don't ever grow up too fast. So when you asked me that, I was always like, nah, because Ren told me not to, and I didn't. But then, just other side conversations like with my boy Mar and my cousin Ramon, they were like, man, you used to ride the city bus at 8 years old, like you was a grown man. You know how to get
Yeah.
everywhere around Milwaukee, or being on time for stuff and all of that. I had no idea like those were not necessarily my responsibilities as an 8 year old.
Mhm.
So I did grow up fast in that regard. But ultimately, or even I was just talking to the kids about having a job at 14 because I just wanted to get some shoes. Like that's cool and it sound cool, but it really wasn't. That shouldn't have been my go-to at that age because it really developed that work ethic that just make me feel. You remember you told me I know I'm kind of all over the place,
No,
but it's
you good.
related. You remember you told me I was like, yo, I want to take some time off, but like I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. And you was like, who says you have to do anything with
Man, that shit used to make me mad. You like, but I, but what do you mean? I'm like,
it?
relax, chill.
Right, but people need to hear that because I hear people say that now. Like I think I told my aunt that. Like you don't need a reason to rest or to take a mental. She want to be on a. I've gotten so many uh texts and comments about people that want to be guests. So whenever you're
Really?
ready, yeah, Auntie one, shout out to Auntie TT, shout out to Nikki. I've had quite a few people hit me up and they ready. Shout
Wow.
out to Nye.
I say we get
But
like
yeah,
5 episodes out.
yeah, no rush. But
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
with you telling me that, it allowed me to tell other people that because there's so many people. I don't think people realize that until COVID, right? Like, and I had a different type of attitude about corporate America long before COVID.
Mhm.
But I think for that, people started to understand it. And then they started to be like, you know what? They might take my time anyway. I might as well do it. And, it was kind of like that dead end type of reasoning for it rather than just saying, you know what? I'm not doing that on Wednesday. I just don't want to do anything, whether it's
Yeah.
Netflix and chill or nothing. Like, just, but it doesn't have to be, I've worked this hard, so I deserve this.
James, I know somebody that had 160 hours of PTO for no reason. Just won't take
Mm.
it. Just won't take it. I don't care how much you enjoy your job, damn it. You need to take you some time off and just do nothing. I don't think people like we can start if you want to one of these sessions, like I got videos that talk about like sleep deprivation and how important that is. I got one that I want to talk about with the community, especially for Black people, toxic stress and how that affects
Mm.
our genes. Like it doesn't
Wow.
just affect you, it affects our genes. So let's just think about slavery and how much toxic stress happened there and how that affected our genes down the line. Why it seems like we're more aggressive, more prone to hypertension, more prone to high blood pressure. But bringing that back to what you were saying, which is now what I forgot, it was about oh,
100.
taking time out. Yeah, taking time off. So that's what I just wanted to ask. So sorry to cut you off there.
No, you good. We think that we're being lazy when we do that. Why is that?
Because slavery. Like if you think about it, it's mostly Black people that feel that way and Hispanic people that feel that way. white people gonna take their rest days. They got vacation days, and this isn't to say it's a racial thing because now the way the government set it up, them can't get rest either. Like we all struggling together as a unit. Like it's all of us. And it's like I be talking to my clients. I talk to so many people on the suicide line, and it's all the same thing. I can't get rest because I have to work. And it's like,
Mm,
man, that's the thing. That's where it's like, dude, it don't matter about race anymore. It matters about what intentionalities are you willing to put forward because the laziness, we live in such a fast-paced world where it's like, dude, if you're not working, you need to have a side hustle. If you don't have a side hustle, you need to have a hobby. If you don't have a hobby, you need to be with your family. It's like, okay, when are you with yourself? The
mm.
hobby, the hobby, you still pouring into something. Yeah, you technically getting a different type of rest field in it. That's another thing. It's 7 types of rest that we can talk about. You got spiritual rest, mental rest, physical rest, emotional rest, mental rest, social rest, and I'm missing one that might be something simple that I cannot think about right now. But those, oh, creative rest. So all of
About to
those make
say
a difference. All
you
right.
diagnose physical rest for me today. So
Man, this nigga
I
made me so
recognize.
mad. Hey, he one of them motherfuckers that get to the gym. I'm about to go 3 days and do full body all 3 days in a row. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Hey, Jew, I have no idea why my back hurts. Excuse me?
That is oh me. I listen to you
Yeah.
and my wife and dad. We gotta wrap this up though. I I, I appreciate Mar too, as for and Pops and VA.
Hey, Chris.
Chris, hey, there we go. Hey, pour them up. But yo, this is the hearts of say the name, please.
This is Hearts of the Community with Jay and Jew. We love y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in, man. And
Love
can't
you,
wait to
bro.
see y'all. Love you too, my brother.
All right.
Peace.